I am so tired of you acting like you speak for the people of the state of Indiana or the city of Indianapolis. You do not speak for me or anyone I know. Now listen, you two jerks. Jerks on the right.
Hi.
Hi.
How's everybody doing? Happy Tuesday. Oh, God, sorry. Ooh, got a fluff, all that kind of stuff. Guys, hello. Greetings and salutations. Let me tell you what's going on in the show today. Kamala makes it official. Just want to inject that whole scene into my veins. I do that. Put it in there. Trudeau, bye. See you later, manlet. Bye-bye. And the cringiest Gretchen Whitmer interview and
ever.
Ducky. You guys remember Ducky? Remember Ducky from Pretty in Pink? He's a moron.
He was cool. He was cool and Pretty in Pink.
Was he? Was he?
I mean, not traditionally cool,
maybe,
but like
sort of
you
a little
liked
bit.
him.
Not anymore. All that and so much more coming up on today's show. You guys can check us out. chicksontheright.com/links. All the things, all the socials you should be checking out. Mock on Twitter. Check Mock out on Twitter. Check me out on Instagram. That's who handles the things and the stuff and whatnot. And also subscribe to this podcast. Click subscribe if you haven't done that already. We would appreciate it if you would do that and then share it with your friends. Thank you.
Please share.
Please do that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you want to give an update on Mr. Crenshaw?
Well, I don't think he's not answered anything from us, but we did do sort of a recap on his lies and propaganda yesterday. The fact that he manipulated video and whatnot, and we haven't heard anything back from him. It's been crickets. It's been kind of weird.
So
Nothing.
weird.
It's very weird.
He's just decided to not be in that fight anymore.
Yeah, it's just he's sort of a
Dan.
It's like I told the team yesterday. He's sort of a rage seagull, you guys. He's a rage goal is what I've been calling him. Hashtag rage goal. He just goes around and he craps rage on people and he just flies on by. Just keeps flying. That's what he does.
He looks for the next target.
And then rage and then more rage. That's what he does. And he just flies. So he's a rage goal. You guys should.
And he doesn't look back. He just does the thing and then just takes off and looks for the next victim.
Just keeps rage goaling is what he does.
Raging.
So that's Dan Crenshaw for you. Anyway, that's our update. There's really no update other than the fact that we gave the full story where he didn't. And now we haven't heard back about that. It's interesting.
I feel like I should just reply to every tweet that he does with that thread.
Yes, please do. Oh my God. Can we do that for the next 2 weeks?
He can't stop us. I mean, all he can do is block us, but then can't we sue him? Like, aren't Congress people not allowed to block regular plebes like us?
I mean, we probably should be able to sue him for the fact that he lied about us. Just out there. You know what we are? We're truth goals. He's a rage goal. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's get into some things and some
do
stuff. Shall we?
Yeah.
So like Daisy said at the very beginning, Trudeau, we talked about this yesterday. We were like, we're hearing buzz that Trudeau is expected to resign within a few days. And it turned out yesterday was the day. And so he gave this big, long sob story address to his constituents. We saved just the very best part, which was where he was at his most manlity. And talking about how he had a big discussion with his kids over dinner. And here is the little bit that is the most important part of his long and boring speech.
So last night over dinner, I told my kids about the decision that I'm sharing with you today. I intend to resign as party leader, as prime minister, after the party selects its next leader through a robust, nationwide, competitive process. Okay. Last night, I asked the president of the Liberal Party to begin that process.
I hate that word.
This country deserves a real choice in the next election, and it has become clear to me that if I'm having to fight internal battles, I cannot be the best option in that election.
Mm-hmm. Why are you gay?
It's so gay.
He's so gay, you guys. He's so gay with what's his name? What's the other dude's name that he's gay with?
Macron.
Macron. I think they're gay together. It's just, listen, I'm not saying that it's just something I'm putting out in the universe that I think may or may not be true. Okay. You could have heard it here first. Yeah. He's like blackface, commie manlet dude.
He's so like, when he talks, it just gives me all the, everything hairs raise and
It's probably because he's a feminist. We don't like feminists.
well, especially when they're
right.
So
exactly.
men.
Yeah, it was a good day for Canada yesterday. It was a good day.
Yeah, it's a good day. And it's looking very, very likely that Pierre Poilievre will be the next prime minister, which
That's
would
great.
be phenomenal, not just for Canada, but for like the world. And for
Right.
Trump, it'll make it,
Yeah.
he's such a good candidate. Like Pierre needs to be cloned several
He's
times.
amazing. Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah,
Well, this
he
is
really
the
is.
Trump. This is the Trump effect, don't you think?
I think so.
Yeah, he's having an effect. Sort of, it's just like a little ripple effect. It's the Trump effect. It's really interesting how we're seeing this happen all over. Like the clip we played with Zelensky yesterday. They're all paying attention to what's happening in America and how Americans have said enough is enough of this woke bullcrap and all of the liberal bullcrap. And it's just like chips are falling.
Yeah, they're looking at El Salvador, they're looking at Argentina. Like this is a thing that people are sick and tired of liberal policies ruining their countries and their lives.
Right.
They're
It's
sick of
beautiful. It's beautiful, isn't it?
It is a good thing. Unfortunately, Joe Biden is trying to and his people, they're trying to destroy as much as they can before Trump gets into office. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. And that is the reason, by the way, that even though Trump won the election and we can breathe a sigh of relief, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be prepared for any potential disaster. I know that there's like power outages all over the country right now because of the winter weather. These are the kinds of things that you want to be prepared for. And that means you got to have your bottled water. You got to have your emergency food kit. And here are a couple examples of the emergency food kits that we get from ReadyWise.com. This is the coolest thing ever because this is a self-heating meal kit. That means all you need is water. That's it. And then there's this magic pad that once you add the water, it activates the heat. And this is already pre-cooked. This particular kit is pasta Alfredo with chicken. So it's already pre-cooked. And then you add the water activates the heating pad makes it hot. And you've got basically a meal ready to eat. That is amazing. And when you don't need an MRE necessarily, but you still want delicious food, I know you're not supposed to get into your emergency food kit, but you guys, the soup is so good.
She totally
How am I
does,
supposed to not eat this?
She totally eats the MRE. She eats them for dinner.
It's so good though. I can't help it.
But it's good. Yeah.
It really is. So they've got soups. Let me just tell you, because I was reading about all the different things that they have. So here is choices. They've got an emergency 1 month supply. They've got a 2-bucket bundle. They've got 120 serving freeze-dried fruit or vegetable bucket. And you know how much I love the banana chips.
Oh my gosh, those are awesome.
Oh, I love them. They even have a 3-month emergency food supply. It's designed by their team of in-house culinary experts. That's why everything from them tastes so good. So check it out. ReadyWise.com is the website. You can use code CHICKS20 at checkout. You'll get 20% off of your entire order, no matter what you pick out. Preparedness is the gift of peace of mind. Go to ReadyWise.com and use code CHICKS20.
I love the comment. Ronnie, I don't know if Ronnie is a male or female, but he or she said, I'd live on MREs if I wasn't married. Solid.
You could.
Mm-hmm.
You could.
Yep.
You could. All right. So back to some headlines. There's going to be some shakeups, I guess, in the social media world. And that starts with the reason for my name today, Mark Zuckerberg. Dana White has joined the board of directors at Meta. Who predicted this? Because it wasn't me.
I love it. I think it's great.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
If it means there's going to be more freedom and less of a stupid algorithm and less suppression of conservatism at Facebook because, man, we have seen it. We have lived through it at
Mhm.
Facebook. I am all for this. I think it's great. It's so interesting. The pairing.
I know, it's crazy. And so he was, Mark Zuckerberg made an announcement about it, and there were other people joining the board, but the fact that Dana White was one of them was just like,
That's exploding. Yeah.
yeah, that is amazing. And then
Yeah.
Dana White made a comment about it, saying that one of his most favorite thing is building brands, and so he's excited to see the inner workings of Facebook, which I kind of love that that's what he said, and that he's excited about helping build the brand into something that's better than it is now.
Yeah,
because it's not great right now.
Maybe Mark is growing up. Because you know what they say about like when you're in your 20s, you look at the world a certain way, and you get into your 30s, you get into your 40s, and you just, as you get older, most normal people become just a little bit more conservative. I mean, I started out conservative. I think you did too. But if you're not already conservative, you usually become more conservative, right? Maybe he's becoming, I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying maybe he's looking at the world a little differently,
I think he is, because remember that interview that he did where he was talking about that fight moment of Donald Trump and saying like how badass it was? I think that really had an impact on him.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it had an impact on a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, this is good news. And then, of course, we've all heard that, TikTok is going to shut down unless there's like some buyout of it before, I guess, Trump's term begins. And so Kevin O'Leary was on with Martha McCallum yesterday to talk about his plan to buy it with some other fellow whose name I'm not familiar with. But anyway, here is Kevin O'Leary to talk about the TikTok potential buyout.
That was one topic, but I had another agenda item that was very important to me, and we announced that this morning. I have joined with Frank McCourt to buy TikTok, and this is a very complicated deal. It's a multi-billion-dollar deal. We're going to have to work with President Trump. This is a bipartisan situation. We have to work initially with Biden, and we want to, and then on midday, 12:05, Trump will be who we have to work with to close the deal in the months ahead. So I wanted to let him know, as well as others in his cabinet, that we're doing this, and we're going to need their help.
Well, that's going to be a very interesting story.
So then China would no longer be in control of it, I'm assuming.
Or what is it, Byte Dance or Dance Byte or whatever? Right. Yeah, they would. China would have to be divested from the operations of that platform.
And as long as China's not in control of it, I don't really care what happens to it. I'm not on it. My kid's not on it. I'm not a big fan of TikTok. I don't really give a crap about TikTok. I never wanted it to be banned though. I never had I didn't really have a stake in that. A lot of people, I know a lot of conservatives were like, shut it down. I mean, it's just stay off of it. It's like, what if you don't like it, stay off of it. Because I always felt like it was a slippery slope. Once we start banning social media stuff, then it's a slippery slope, because if you have liberals in charge, what are they going to ban? What, it's like, I just think it's a bad idea for governments to start banning social media. I think that's a bad practice to have in place. It's a bad precedent to set.
Yeah.
And so
I get the China part of it.
I
like
do too.
Saying you don't get to spy on American citizens.
I do
China.
too. I get that too. But there's also the whole free will thing. You don't have to freaking be on it.
Right.
So maybe stay off and keep your kids off of it. Maybe keep your kids off it.
And then like how will it change if Kevin and this other fellow buy it? Like, what's that going to look like? How is it going to, it's just, it's going to be an interesting year in social media.
And Trump doesn't want it to be banned because it helps him get elected.
Yeah. I mean, he back in the day, he did.
Yeah.
He talked about it being banned, and then now he's all about it. So he's definitely changed his mind about that. Like we said earlier in the show, Biden, or the puppet masters of Biden, are literally trying to destroy everything they can. They're setting fires every place they can set fires before Trump takes office. Here's an example. He just released 11 Yemeni terrorists from Gitmo. These are 9/11 terrorists, essentially, or terrorists that were captured in the aftermath of 9/11. And Biden's like, you can go now.
Why? Why is he doing this?
I don't know, because him and Obama always talked about closing Guantanamo
Getting
Bay
out, yeah.
altogether. I think after these 11, there's like 15 people left. And so it's not like releasing these 11 achieved the goal of shutting it down. So I don't know why. I have no idea why.
Yeah, it's like it's the same as like, helping out Chinese pedophiles.
Right.
Why is he doing this? And then over the break, he was, lowering the sentences of some of these hardened criminals, like these murderers and stuff, and these families, like right around Christmas, he was doing this. Like, why is he doing this? What does this gain for you except for make you look like a complete jackhole? And these families are suffering. Like, why would you? That's my biggest question is why? Why do you do that? Why do you do this for criminals? It's because Democrats love criminals. That's the only conclusion that I can come to, because I don't know why you would side with a evil criminal or somebody who has done horrible things unless you are in fact a horrible person.
I know.
And no other conclusion.
Yeah, it's like it starts with the Hunter pardon and then the commuting of all these sentences of just these horrible, awful, terrible people, letting these, terrorists out of Gitmo. Like what
do you gain from that?
He's so clearly anti-American interests.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much more people need to see it.
And just he's clearly anti-good human being.
Yeah.
You're anti somebody who is like, I'm following the law and I'm a good human being, and you're pro criminal and pro evil person. You cannot be any clearer.
It's just, and the question is like, how much does he even know is going on, and how much is it all the people, his team,
Obama, pulling the strings, yeah,
yeah. But man, I mean, I read that headline yesterday and I was like, seriously? Can you do more harm in 3 weeks? Because this is incredible. It's like every day you hear something else that he's done and you're just like, you hate this country. That's the only explanation.
He's crapping so much on the way out. Again, with the seagull stuff. He's just, he's crapping evil all the way out the door. It's like, enough already. I cannot wait until January 20th.
Same.
And the messes that Trump is going to have to clean up. It's extraordinary how much he's
my God. And then the ridiculous folks out there who are still super, super butthurt about Trump winning the election. There's actually people, particularly in the LGBTQ, all the alphabet,
right?
They're genuinely scared that they're going to be rounded up and put into concentration camps. You guys,
crying out loud.
So, this is according to the New York Post, who reported gay and transgender liberals in the U.S. start arming themselves over the baseless fear of being placed in concentration camps under Trump. I can't. I mean,
does that include the gay people that are in his administration?
Does that include them? Stupid.
Seriously, these people are they're mental. They're completely mentally ill. Just stop
They really are. Just cut it out, you guys. Nobody's going to put you in. Oh my God. You can't make it up. You cannot make it up.
Bless their hearts.
I know we've talked about them in the year prior, but I don't think we've talked about coat defense in 2025, and we're going to talk about them because of this amazing preventative powder. This is their main, this is the product. This is the product that made me be like, ooh, coat defense. This is a company to buy stuff from, because this powder works as a preventative and a treatment powder for so many of the skin conditions that affect your dogs, you guys. And if you have a really grungy, old, stinky, sweaty, smelly dog bed, which I love, of course.
Yeah.
It's probably not great for your dog. Even though it smells like them and you love it, that's actually where a lot of yeast infections and other things that irritate their skin and their ears and their paws can come from. But if you just sprinkle this in their dog bed on the regular, you're actually kind of disinfecting it in a way. And you're making sure that they're not going to get harmed from the potential bacteria that's festering in there. So this, again, it works great as a preventative, also as a treatment powder. You can even sprinkle it right into their ears when they're dealing with itchy ears. And you can also get their dog shampoo, which is fantastic because it doesn't strip away the skin oils that they need, which a lot of other dog shampoos do. So check out all their products. They've got amazing stuff at coatdefense.com. When you use code CHICKS, you will save 15% off of your entire order. It's coatdefense.com. We need a good headline, right? Like we need a good one. And this I just thought was so cool. So of course we all remember how Hurricane Helene impacted the folks in North Carolina, they affected people in lots of states, but North Carolina in particular. And there's been a lot of complaints, a lot of talk about how FEMA really dropped the ball, how they have not helped the people in North Carolina, especially now that there's cold weather here. And so I just loved the fact that there was a headline yesterday about the fact that 62 members of the Pennsylvania Amish community completed the construction of 12 tiny homes in Western North Carolina in under 48 hours.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
The Amish community, raised the $300,000 it took to build. This is incredible.
It is incredible. Yeah, it is. And it just shows you who these people are, right?
Right?
Yeah. And meanwhile, the government's like, thumb up our butts.
Right. Or here's a tent.
Right.
Here's a little tent for you to withstand bitterly cold temperatures in.
Yeah.
Somebody
or
needs
what
to
was
like
it?
job shadow the Amish.
Or what was
FEMA.
it? Like $700? Didn't they give him like seven? What was the?
Yeah, it was initial payment of $750.
Here's $700 for you to like rebuild your home. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
this is just the greatest. I mean,
It is
God
the
bless
greatest.
the Amish, right? Like
Mhm.
that's just remarkable. I love
It is.
that.
Yep.
Daisy sent me a picture that had been going around social media. You guys remember that Nancy Pelosi got her hip replaced. I think it was in Germany, but like, within the last week or so. And then Mitch McConnell, who's had a couple more episodes, shall we say, is now in a wheelchair. So he is not walking around the halls of Congress. He's being pushed around in a wheelchair in the halls of Congress. And Benny Johnson had posted this tweet saying, Mitch McConnell in a wheelchair, Nancy Pelosi with a walker. This is just sad. Term limits are needed for the health and well-being of elected officials.
You got mad at me. She got mad.
Yeah.
You were mad. You were like, listen, I can't. You're like, I cannot make fun of these people because I can't walk right now.
I
was
know.
like-
Well, I felt bad for because I look at Nancy Pelosi, who's pretty spry, and considering she just got her hip replaced, like, of course she's using a walker. It doesn't mean she's not mentally there. McConnell isn't another story, but like, she literally just got her hip replaced. And so I give her a pass, and I'm actually jealous that she can walk at all because of
I
course,
don't give her a pass. I don't think she's mentally there. I think that's the Scotchy Scotch. I don't think she's mentally there. I do. Have you seen her in interviews?
I
She's
know. Well, the one that we showed
crap.
yesterday, remember when
Right.
she was on the plane and she did the selfie video and she was
She's
like,
out of her freaking mind. Right. She's out of her gourd. She has no idea what's going on. But people are
I know. And you were like, you're not 90 and you're not in and you're not in Congress. And I was like,
Right.
I know. But here's my problem. Like, ever since I've had this knee issue is that I can't look at a human being doing anything without immediately being jealous of what they can do with their knee. Like it's you guys, it's a problem. Like I will see just somebody doing, I don't know, like running or they're like bending down and I'll be like, oh my God, that's amazing that they can do that. Like it's pathetic. Like it's all I think about because it's
Because you
just
just
so
want it to be
frustrating
there.
not to be able to do it.
I get it because when I had my back surgery, I couldn't walk. I couldn't do anything. I mean, like I didn't have any function at all for like 3 or 4 days. And it was terrifying is what it was. Absolutely terrifying. It definitely humbles you. It does. Cause then you're like, oh my, like it makes you realize how good God is. Like, and like how your body is a temple and you need to treat it well. And like when you can walk, you should do that because you don't take any of that for granted when you can walk. That's for sure. So yeah, I mean, I totally get where you're coming from, but at the same time, like people who are 90 years old shouldn't be running the freaking country, Mock. Come on.
Totally. I completely agree. Like the age there, I almost believe in age limits over term limits because there are people in their 90s in Congress, and that is freaking insane. I mean, that's just insane.
It is insane.
And so, I don't care how with it they happen to be. This is crazy. And the fact that they want to be in Congress at that age is psychotic.
You don't see that in the private sector. You just don't.
Yeah.
You don't see people in the private sector just like coming in their walkers into a job at 90.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? People are like, it's time for you to retire now.
Yeah.
And people want to retire. They want to spend time with they want to spend time with their families. They want to like go live in Boca. They want to, they want to do the things, which these people, it's just power. It's all power.
And the benefits. I mean, it must be so cush. Dan Crenshaw.
Yeah, Dan
It must be
Crenshaw.
so cush to be in Congress that you've got 90-year-olds that will not leave. They won't leave.
Right.
I mean, that's just, it's pathetic.
Yep.
Speaking of things that Biden is doing to set fires to the world before he gets out of office, one of the things that was announced yesterday is this ban on oil and gas drilling on like 625 million acres off of the East Coast, which is completely crazy. And Trump heard about this. He heard this headline while he was on Hugh Hewitt's show. And so we have the moment where Trump is like, well, I'm just now hearing this and I'm going to unban it. So here is that conversation.
Got to get things done. We don't get them done. I see it just came over that Biden has banned all oil and gas drilling across 625 million acres of U.S. coastal territory. It's ridiculous. I'll unban it immediately. I will unban it. I have the right to unban it immediately. What's he doing? Why is he doing it? We have something that nobody else has. I mean, nobody has to the extent we have it, and it'll be more by the time we finish because I'll be able to expand. We're going to expand our country, and it'll be more. We have oil and gas, and whether you manufacture widgets or gadgets or whatever you happen to be doing, some countries have to work very hard to do that. We do too, and we will. But we have oil and gas at a level that nobody else has, and we're going to take advantage of it. And when I see somebody saying he's going to ban 625 million acres, he doesn't know what that is. He doesn't even know what 625 million acres would look like. And we can't let that happen to our country. It's really our greatest economic asset. And we're not going to let that happen to our country.
Why do Democrats want us to be so dependent on countries that hate us?
It makes no sense.
Except
that they hate America.
They hate America, and I think that they make deals with these countries, like personal deals. I think there's so much shady crap going on in the background, and they have so many like shady things going on personally with these people, and they just you're right, they hate America. They hate America, and if they make these deals in the background and they make money off of it, and they're like, screw America. I don't care about Americans and America. And they make it so we are dependent when we don't have to be. We have the resources here to be completely self-sufficient. And they don't want us to be. Why? It's like when you raise your kids to be independent and self-sufficient so they can exist in the world and flourish. Our politicians do the exact opposite with us as a country. It's so gross. Like
it is. And going back to the age point, they do it at these ages where what they are doing will never impact them.
Right.
They're creating all of these laws and these policies that impact future generations really negatively, knowing that like whatever, it doesn't bother them because they're not even going to be here to feel the impacts.
Yeah. Because they just want money. They just make money personally. God, these people make me sick.
But my husband was telling me at dinner last night that like, it's great that Trump is all, I'm going to unban that. But apparently the way that Biden did this ban is like tied up in some impossible to unban law.
You mean the way that Obama did it? Yeah.
Right. And that it will take an act of Congress. It will take a vote of Congress to actually unban it, which, with a slim margin in the House, I don't know how easy it's going to be to unban it. So he may have just effed us royally, because he's doing that all over the place.
He's doing it. Yeah. He's just, again, with the seagull, he's just crapping everywhere on his way out. He's trying to screw things up for Trump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is what they do.
Exactly right. All right. No, we did not plan our matchiness, but we did notice it right away when we connected this morning. We were like, oh, look at us matching.
We do this all the time, you guys.
And it's never planned. All right. So yesterday it became official. Kamala actually, I think it was the day before yesterday, or maybe it was early in the morning yesterday, she released a video explaining that she was going to do her constitutional duty and certify the election. And it's interesting because I think she's trying very hard to like send the message that look at me, look at how much integrity I have to do this clerical job.
It's your
basically.
job. That's your job.
Right. So here is her video before the vote was certified, explaining to everyone that she would be certifying it.
Peaceful transfer of power is one of the most fundamental principles of American democracy. As much as any other principle, it is what distinguishes our system of government from monarchy or tyranny. Today at the United States Capitol, I will perform my constitutional duty as Vice President of the United States to certify the results of the 2024 election. This duty is a sacred obligation, one I will uphold, guided by love of country, loyalty to our Constitution, and my unwavering faith in the American people. As we have seen, our democracy can be fragile.
We've heard this
and
before.
It is up to then each one of us to stand up for our most cherished principles and to make sure that in America, our government always remains of the people, by the people, and for the people. May God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America.
It's such theater. What was it that she couldn't do the other day? Was it the Pledge of Allegiance? She couldn't say it? What was it?
I mean, she kind of messed it up at the beginning because she said, I pledge allegiance to the United States of America. She just forgot the flag.
I feel like that's kind of a big deal, Mark.
I mean, it was just a like, listen, I will criticize her all day long, but when you just misspeak like that, it's not like, I mean, that was not that huge of a deal.
Oh my God. Okay. She's the vice president of the United States of America. I feel like it's kind of a big deal. I feel like that is.
I mean,
you should know how to say the freaking pledge.
I think she does, but it was just one of those moments where you just slip up. Everybody slips up from time to time.
Oh my God. Okay.
I mean, there's plenty of stuff to criticize her for. I don't think she doesn't know the Pledge of Allegiance. I think she just happened to screw it up that time.
Okay.
But there was a moment before she certified the election where she was doing all of the swearing in of new senators and returning senators. And one of those senators was Senator Fisher from Nebraska, who of course brought her family. And there's like a whole thing, right? Where you bring your family, you get your picture taken, you got your hand on the Bible. It's a whole thing. And so people continue to be making a huge fuss about this moment where the husband of Senator Fisher refused to shake Kamala's hand.
Bruce.
And and Kamala was like, you know, obviously taken aback by it. So here is the video that everybody was just like, oh my God, about.
Hi. Do you want to come here, Bruce? No. It's okay. I won't bite. I'm not gonna bite. Don't worry. Okay. Okay. Do you solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States? Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you for your work. Thank you. Congratulations to you. Thank you. Okay. You're welcome. Okay, sure.
Oh.
Ready?
Oh my gosh.
Hold it. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. There. 1 second.
So there was that moment, and then everybody was just like, oh my God. There were either people that were like, ha ha, or that guy is all of us. And then there were all kinds of people going, that is rude as hell. She was just trying to do what she's supposed to do, which is congratulate everybody and shake hands and be polite. And how rude he was for not shaking her hand.
He was also holding a Bible
Well,
and a cane. Yeah.
That is exactly what I was just about to say. So
Yeah.
the real reason that happened, as Molly Hemingway pointed out and videos showed, is that he was holding two things, one of which was for balance, the handshaking hand, and the
Right.
other, which was a Bible. And so the question is, which one was he supposed to drop?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so now, like, you have to, when you rewatch it, is Kamala making that face because she's annoyed that he didn't shake her hand, or is she making the face because she realized, oh shit, he can't shake my hand?
I think it's the
Do you know
first
what I mean?
thing. I think she's annoyed that he didn't shake her hand. You know,
Because you
I
can't,
think,
like, in that video, you can't see that he's holding the cane. It's not until you see still pictures later that you can, like, zoom in on the fact that he's holding a cane. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's possible she didn't see it. I have no idea, but
She's
that was a
well,
moment.
she's so you know, don't you know who I am kind of a person. So
Yeah.
she's probably irritated that he didn't shake her hand in that moment, you know, for that picture. But he was holding two things. And, you know, there's probably a part of him where he's like, I want to shake your freaking hand. And if it were my husband, he probably wouldn't want to shake her hand either.
But he would. Like, he wouldn't not shake her hand,
I don't
right?
know. It's my husband is his own person. If he didn't want to shake her hand and he didn't shake her hand, I'd be like, that's your choice. You want to shake her hand or not shake her hand? It's up to you, dude. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be mad either way. He's his own individual person. I would leave it up to him, you know? Honestly, I wouldn't be mad if he didn't shake her hand. I just would be like, okay. You know, and if he took heat for it, that would be heat that he would have to take on his own.
Right, right.
It's not, you know, that's how I feel about it, you know, but I know people are mad at this guy, but you know, like, he was holding two things, and maybe like, there's a part of, maybe he was holding two things. He was, but maybe the cane, maybe really, you know, maybe did he really need the cane? You know what I mean? Like, maybe he was just like,
We'll never know.
I really don't want to shake this lady's hand. You know what I mean? So
We'll never know his real reason, but
Yeah.
he did have a pretty damn good excuse for not shaking her hand.
Yeah.
So
Mhm. I think we all do, really.
that's true.
Mhm.
You guys, have you gotten your slippers from mypillow.com/chicks? Let me just show you two different kinds of slippers that are on sale right now. So you're going to be able to tell which ones I've worn through more quickly than the other. Well, I have one pair of the moccasins, and of course these have that amazing squeezy kitten fur technology in there. You can see how soft and warm and cozy it is, and the soles are like meant for outside or inside. You can wear these to the store, and you can wear them just as easily as you can wear them in your living room. They also have the slip-ons. Now you can see that these are rather worn, and they're like absolutely filthy because I wear them constantly. But so these are the slides, and then they also have kind of a moccasin that looks like this, that doesn't have the squeezy kitten fur technology in it. It's more of an all-weather. Those are on super sale right now. Those are like $25.
I have the gray ones. I have gray ones, and they're great. I love them. I
Do
wear
you have
them
the
all the time.
all-weathers?
I have the kitten fur.
Okay.
I have the
all
kitten
right.
fur gray ones, and I love them. Mhm.
I'm not exact because I don't have a pair of the all-weathers yet, but so I'm
kinda
not
need to get
exactly
those.
sure what the lining is, but it's
Yeah.
meant to be not quite as like warm
Right.
as the kitten fur
And
ones.
in the South, those would be perfect.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I'm
Yep.
thinking about getting myself a pair of those because they are on sale for as low as $25 right now. mypillow.com/chicks. Don't forget to use code chicks for the deepest discounts on all of the premium slippers and moccasins. mypillow.com/chicks. Let's get to the certification, shall we?
Yes.
Because I loved every minute of this. Now, there weren't that many minutes. I think it was like 2.5 minutes long total, but just the facial expressions of Mike Johnson.
Oh my God, it was everything. If I could just soak that in and just like, if we could bottle it and like put it in a spray, I just want to have that forever and ever.
Oh, it was glorious, you guys. And, you know, I'll give her credit. She did it with as much grace as she could muster. And it had to have been painful.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because she's naming herself as the loser. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I thought this whole thing was worth watching just for the Mike Johnson smirks.
Awesome.
And for the applause. It's just glorious.
Is it
so
time
here
for
is
Donald Trump to apologize?
That's not it. Wrong video. I'm sorry. Here is the certification process.
The state of the vote for the President of the United States as delivered to the President of the Senate is as follows. The whole number of the electors appointed to vote for President of the United States is 538. Within that whole number, the majority is 270. The votes for President of the United States are as follows. Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida has received 312 votes. Kamala D. Harris. Kamala D. Harris of the state of California has received 226 votes.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
The whole number of electors appointed to vote for Vice President of the United States is 538. Within that whole number, a majority is 270. The votes for Vice President of the United States are as follows. J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio has received 312 votes.
Kimmy.
Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota has received 226 votes.
Look at Mike.
Yep.
This announcement of the state of the vote by the President of the Senate shall be deemed a sufficient declaration of the persons elected, President and Vice President of the United States, each for a term beginning on the 20th day of January 2025, and shall be entered together with the list of the votes on the journals of the House and the Senate. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
That happened. That had to have been the most painful thing she has ever done.
Face. That one, isn't you the one that sent with the set to music yesterday?
I didn't set it to music, but somebody set it to the music of The Office and just focused in on like Mike's face and then her face and then Mike's
glorious.
Face. It was so good.
So perfect. His face was everything.
I know. It's just because he wanted to smirk, but he didn't want to look like he was smirking. So he just had that like
he's got a
smirk face.
Terrible poker face. Terrible. I love every bit of it.
Yeah, that was good stuff. And then after, because again, we showed you a video of her pre-certification, then during certification, and then she also spoke post-certification again to talk about how basically awesome she was for doing her clerical job. Here's her post-certification.
Well, today was obviously a very important day, and it was about what should be the norm and what the American people should be able to take for granted, which is that one of the most important pillars of our democracy is that there will be a peaceful transfer of power. And today I did what I have done my entire career, which is take seriously the oath that I have taken many times to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, which included today performing my constitutional duties to ensure that the people of America, the voters of America, will have their votes counted, that those votes matter, and that they will determine then the outcome of an election. I do believe very strongly,
this is my favorite,
that America's democracy is only as strong as our willingness to fight for it. Every single person, their willingness to fight for and respect the importance of our democracy. Otherwise, it is very fragile, and it will not be able to withstand moments of crisis. And today, America's democracy stood.
It's the only thing she's done. in 4 years. It's like, oh, and it's not really anything. It's just theater. It's all kabuki theater is what we're seeing. Bye. What do you think what is she going to do now? What is she going to do?
She's going to be governor of California.
You think?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Godspeed, California. Godspeed.
Indeed. And then, of course, the media, my God, they were just fawning over this ridiculous clerical procedural thing that she did.
Right. It's like,
and
oh my God, look at her. She said words on a stage and read from a teleprompter. Woo!
And so leave it to Jenny to calm down the CNN panel who was basically trying to canonize her. And here is Scott putting them in their place.
What's next for you? What's next for you?
On this Harris business, I think before we canonize St. Kamala here on the high holy day of January 6th, let's remember the Electoral Count Reform Act of 2022 makes it perfectly clear that the vice president has nothing but purely ministerial duties on this day. She didn't actually certify the results of the election. That's done by the voters and the people of the
It was clear as day 4 years ago as well.
Right.
But because of the
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, nobody's trying to canonize her. The same thing was true.
Oh, they're not. I mean, she put out a video trying to canonize herself.
She was actually just saying it's unremarkable. That's true.
That's the opposite of canonize.
I want to actually congratulate the Democrats today. This is the first election since 1980.
He's doing this again.
This is the first election since 1988 that a Republican won, and Democrats did not try to overturn the results on the floor of the Congress. So congratulations, Democrats.
I'm only interrupting you because we've heard this before.
We've played this.
Well, you've heard the truth before, but I thought it was worth repeating.
I just love him. I absolutely love him. And I'm surprised. I think Adam was at least crying on the inside. He was wanting to cry on the outside. He was like holding it back.
Oh my
Such
God.
a wuss.
I mean, so not only were they fawning over her, all the media outlets, but then they were also obsessing over January 6th.
Of course.
Like they have learned nothing from Trump's victory. Nothing.
They keep trying to make it happen.
Oh my God. It is out of control. So Jim Acosta had two people. He had a Republican strategist on his show along with the Democrat strategist. And first he asked the Republican strategist, isn't it time that Trump apologize for January 6th? And this was perfect.
Is it time for Donald Trump to apologize for what took place 4 years ago?
I wouldn't expect Donald Trump would apologize. I think nor do I expect Democrats to apologize for trying to undo his presidency by all legal and extra legal means after that.
Come on, Brad. Come on.
No, Jim, look at our own polling. Look at CNN's own exit polling. Voters who said they voted on democracy were evenly split between Democrats and Republicans. January 6th was a dark day in the history of our country. Donald Trump bears a lot of responsibility for that. It's something that should stain his legacy forever. However, voters, they punished him for it. That's why he was behind Ron DeSantis by 20 points until Alvin Bragg indicted him. And once voters decided that Democrats were determined to prevent Donald Trump from being elected by any extra legal means, they decided maybe this wasn't as clear.
I mean, shouldn't your party have just rejected him, just flat out rejected him, from Kevin McCarthy to Mitch McConnell to the whole lot of them? How could your party let him be the nominee again? Isn't that the question?
Watch what Kevin McCarthy and Mitch McConnell said in the aftermath of that. They absolutely did condemn him. Mitch McConnell was still condemning him months afterward on the floor. Yeah. Nancy Pelosi decided to use January 6th for partisan gain, though. She appointed, she refused to let Kevin McCarthy appoint Republicans to the committee. She didn't let Republicans hire staff to the January 6th Oversight Committee. They didn't allow cross-examination.
The January 6th committee had the Republican of all Republicans, Liz Cheney, on
Liz Cheney
so
was
she was
not
booted out of your party.
I mean, she wasn't appointed by her conference like
Dick
every
Cheney's
other
daughter.
committee. She wasn't appointed by the Republican conference.
Good Republican.
They live in a different universe.
Yeah, they really do.
They still live there after we smacked them with the 2x4 and we were like, stop it, snap out of it. They're still like, I can't snap out of it. I can't.
Isn't it amazing?
Orange man. I have, TDS is real. It's so real. Wow. That was just an astounding clip.
Yeah, and it gets better because then he asked that Democrat strategist, her name is Maria Cardona. He asks about he talks about the fact that there's a lot of Democrats who are disappointed that Merrick Garland didn't do enough to get Trump. And so he was basically asking her that question. And that's amazing to me that's how he's posing the question.
Yes. Wow.
So here is that part of the exchange.
I mean, let me ask you this, Maria. I mean, Attorney General Merrick Garland, he put out a statement this morning saying he's proud of the Justice Department's prosecution of the Capitol rioters, saying, quote, put this up on screen, the public servants of the Justice Department have sought to hold accountable those criminally responsible for the January 6 attack on our democracy with unrelenting integrity. They have conducted themselves in a manner that adheres to the rule of law and honors our obligation to protect the civil rights and civil liberties of everyone in this country. But, you know, Maria, and I don't have to tell you this, a lot of Democrats are just totally disappointed in Merrick Garland and think that he botched this. Did he botch this?
I think that way too much time went past. And I think that led to people perhaps not remembering, perhaps not understanding the importance, and frankly, letting other issues become the priority because, you know, voters are concerned with what is happening to them that day, right? And so I do think that a lot of time, Merrick Garland allowed too much time to go past, but we don't know what it was that they were looking at, what facts were in front of them. I do think that he obviously had the obligation, if he's going to bring this to the justice process, to have the facts be as strong as they could be. And to go back to what you said, I do think that Republicans, not just Trump, but Republican leaders are going to bear a lot of responsibility, and history is not going to be kind to them. Because while what you said is true, that they were against him, that lasted like a nanosecond.
What the hell is she talking about? History's not going to be kind to us?
Mm-hmm.
These people are out of their minds. Completely out of their minds.
Yeah. And then the fact that the whole nonsense about the committee that you heard with the Republican strategist, and of course, Jim Acosta going, Liz Cheney is the best Republican of all Republicans in all the world. Here's what Kash Patel thinks about that committee.
Six committee is in fact this legitimate committee, then you know what members of Congress can't hide behind the speech and debate clause for committing felonies when it comes to destroying and suppressing evidence to law enforcement agencies. And since we just found out about it, here's what I'm proposing. If and when Donald Trump wins the presidency, there may be a full-fledged investigation into those in Congress who aided and abetted this corrupt criminal activity. And we should look at who was responsible for what and whether there was any ill will and intention to suppress evidence from federal investigators. And if there was, that's a crime whether you're in Congress or not. So we should start there because they said the January 6th committee is legit. Okay, if you're legit, then you're subjected to the federal statutes. And let's see who broke the law.
God,
it has always gotten away with it because the deep state has been in charge. So if you want real accountability, whether it's Democrat or Republican, remember it's that whole uniparty thing, you have to defeat the deep state.
I think he was talking to Joe Pags there.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. I cannot wait to see Adam Kinzinger in jail. You know how long he's going to last in jail? About 2.5 seconds, you guys.
He will be well liked, I think. I think he will be well liked.
He'll be well sought after is what he's going to be. Little cry.
And he said on a show yesterday that he doesn't want a pardon.
Oh.
He wants no part of a pardon, which I thought was interesting.
Adam doesn't? You said Adam?
Yep.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I cannot wait. I am salivating over Kash Patel being in that office. You have no idea.
It's going to be something.
I'm so excited. I think he's one of the guys I'm most excited about when it comes to this administration. I'm so excited about it because he's going to unleash the hounds and the information, and there's going to be so much transparency. At least I hope there's going to be a lot of transparency based on what I've seen when it comes to him.
Yeah, based on what he said. I mean, that's something that's super important to him too. So I would love to see it. And then again, no one gives a crap about January 6th anymore. No. And it's like CNN, they do these polls and they're still surprised that no one cares. In fact, Steve Bannon played this clip on his show, and you'll see him at the end of the clip commenting about these reactions to a poll about how much people care about January 6th.
January 6th is the biggest memory of Trump's first term. Look at this. Wow.
It's just 5.
That is something.
It's just 5%. I mean, most folks simply were willing to dismiss it without much of an issue. And among Republicans, what do we see? It was just 2%. So even though you had that significant chunk of Republicans who said we oppose it, even though the vast majority of Americans opposed it, the bottom line, when it came to November, even when it comes now, most Americans, simply put, Manu, are not thinking about it.
You see the gasp there? Everything they did. This is the reason, one of the many reasons they lost.
Who's the 2%?
I know, right? Like,
that's what I
well,
want to know.
it's Adam Kinzinger and freaking Maggie, what's her name?
And
like all the so-called Republicans.
They still consider themselves GOP because I'm like, who the hell are you? Stand up.
It's Kinzinger and Alyssa Farah and Liz Cheney. That's it.
Raise your hand and punch yourselves in the face because you're idiots. Oh my God.
I mean, that was amazing.
Remarkable.
But again, they really, really, really want, liberals really, really, really want you to care about this. And they talked about this on The View yesterday. Sunny Hostin took this to an unbelievable place, January 6th, comparing it to some of the worst atrocities the world has ever seen. And honestly, this is like shameful how the comparisons that she was making. Listen to this.
I think we need to find moral clarity, you know, in this country. And I just remember after January 6th, you had someone like Mitch McConnell placing the blame on January 6th where it belonged, squarely on Donald Trump's shoulders. And then you started seeing people backtrack that and losing their moral center. You had Condoleezza Rice, I believe, on this very show saying, you know, we need to move on from January 6th. I say no. You don't move on because January 6th was an atrocity. It was one of the worst moments in American history. And when you think about the worst moments in American history, you know, like World War II, things that happened, you know, like the Holocaust, chattel slavery, we need to never forget because past becomes prologue if you forget any race.
I cannot. How is this show not canceled? How? and just it should have been canceled based on her shirt alone. But then stuff comes out of her face like that.
Yeah, it's incredible. And Scott Jennings tweeted about it saying, what an insult to every Jewish person on the planet, past and present. Breathtaking minimizing of one of the worst things to happen in human history. ABC will have to apologize, I bet. But I disagree with him. I don't think they're going to, I think nothing will happen.
They'll double down. They'll support her. It's so great. People have been canceled for so much less than what that. I cannot believe that she just said that out loud.
I know. Isn't it amazing?
And that people clapped for her. There are sheep in the audience. It's remarkable they have an audience of a bunch of white liberal moron women in that audience who are like, oh, like sheep. You know,
right.
I don't get it. I just don't get it. It's so gross.
World
War II and the Holocaust.
And chattel slavery, like what? It's amazing. Like she's just beyond.
She's bonkers.
Embarrassing.
That chick is bonkers.
She is. And speaking of bonkers chicks, Gretchen Whitmer is married and has children.
To a
Both
man.
of these things surprised me. Well, I think we should use that term loosely.
Right. We need to probably discuss that.
Yeah, so she somehow finagled her husband onto some sort of talk show that some absolute horrible excuse for an interviewer hosts. This guy is awful. Like he's just a terrible interviewer. I watched the whole thing so that you didn't have to. Okay. It was like 7.5 minutes of pure cringe. And so I'm sharing with you a couple of very short clips from it so you can get an idea. They're trying to present themselves, Gretchen and her husband, as like a normal couple that's really happy. He seems like a captive hostage to me.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's so weird. Like the way that he talks is so
He's
weird.
beta. He's beta.
So beta. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. So this first clip, the host, who's just awful, is teasingly asking the husband if any of his friends watched the show that they're on and whether or not he read Gretchen's book. Here is that clip.
Mr. First Gentleman, it's so good to see you again.
Good to see you.
You are so kind to submit to this. I know this is not your favorite thing to do.
My pleasure.
Has anybody ever seen you on this segment of the show?
Oh, yeah. Mom.
Mom. Well, I appreciate Mom, but we're trying to go a little deeper into the demographics. Any guys on the street or the guys you have lunch with?
Oh, yeah.
And so what do they say?
They say it passes muster, barely.
Did you read her book?
I read, a lot of books,
Oh, did you read my book?
Oh, yes, I did. Yeah, I read that book. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I was, yeah.
No, I'm not so sure.
No, okay, I didn't.
Why are you going like that, Governor?
Yeah.
You read her book. Okay, so what did you learn? What did you learn? You want to take a break here?
No, it's funny.
What did you learn about her that maybe you didn't know as a result of that book?
Well, she's, just resilient. It's hard to say, I mean, because I know her pretty well, and we've been married 13 years now, so.
Just it's unbearable. You guys, the whole thing is like that.
It's like, are any of these marriages real? You know what I mean? I just wonder, like, because you see all these forced interviews with some of these husbands, and I just wonder, like, is her girlfriend like sitting at a Starbucks drive-thru in her Subaru, like cringing over that interview? I'm just wondering.
I mean, it is so cringy. And he actually, now that you mention it, he does seem like he would be BFFs with Doug Harris.
Totally.
Yeah.
Then I started wondering, I'm like, I can imagine my husband in one of those interviews. Can you imagine Greg?
I also can imagine it, which is why I'm laughing at.
Can you imagine Greg in one of those interviews? Like and Ron would be like, "Can I get you something?" You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
he'd be super polite. Yeah,
he'd be so polite. And my husband would not. He just would. he would not. He would not. So there was a part of me that kind of feels for her in a way, like, or not, maybe not for her, but for him, for having to be put in that position, I guess.
Yeah. He's so bad at it.
He's very squishy and beta, but like, I would never put my husband in that position ever. Cause he would just be like sitting back on, what the hell is this? Like,
everybody's saying Doug's name is not Harris. I know that. I did that on purpose, you guys. So I know it's Doug Emhoff. It's Doug Harris, though.
He wishes it was Harris, you guys. He's filing it for it to be Harris. Right.
So there was also this moment too that, again, so cringe, when that ridiculous interviewer was asking beta guy, Gretchen's husband, his favorite Michigan sports teams, and he basically just starts saying all of them out of just, I think, panic. Here is that moment.
Favorite sports team in our state?
Well, absolutely, the Lions, no question. Spartans. Wolverines.
Yeah. What did you think about your Wolverines planting that flag?
Oh my God.
Well, what are you going to do? I mean, at least they won that game. And that was,
Did you?
He's like, the Bears. I like the Bears. I like anything. I like balls. I just like balls in my face.
Oh my God.
Balls. Lots of balls.
Then at the very end, Gretchen desperately tries to make sure that the audience knows they are really happy. You guys, they are such a happy married couple.
Oh my God.
Here's the very end.
Can you both say you're still having fun?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
People say if it stops being fun, stop doing it.
And we're still, we're very happy. Like, home is good. It's a refuge. Because he's not all in politics and up in the business all the time. It's like, it
good.
works. It works well.
That's good. Listen, we're out of time. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
We're out of time. Thank God.
It's super. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
His face. He's like, day 462. My captor right here. Still has a hold on me. I can't. Wow. That was
the dynamic in that relationship. Like,
Oh,
it's very clear.
she wears the pantsuit all the time. Yeah, that poor guy. That poor guy can't get a break. He can't. He doesn't. He has never held the remote ever. He doesn't even know where it is.
Unless the Lions are on or the Wolverines.
Or the Bears.
Anyway, moving on. Bill Maher, of course, has his Get High with People show. So like not Real Time with Bill Maher, but like Come With Me in My Creepy Basement and Get High with Me show.
That's the name of it. The Get High with Me show.
Right. And he had on Ducky, also known as John Cryer. For people who know the celebrity name John Cryer. And I don't think that they meant to talk about politics, but then they ended up talking about politics. And it turns out John Cryer is super woke and has a lot of trans friends. And so Bill Maher was giving him the business about him being like one of the problems and the reason that Democrats lost. So it was an interesting little exchange. Here's part of it.
I mean, I think the whole country, even unless you're like stupid woke, I hope you're not, but you know, it is Hollywood.
Somewhat stupidly woke.
Okay. The whole country was like, I mean, I think the biggest issue for the election, one of the biggest ones, was Democrats pointlessly, totally just punted on immigration and let anybody who wanted to walk in for 3.5 years did. And, you know.
Well, I think they would probably disagree. The people walking in probably felt like it was a little harder.
No, actually, there's a great 60 Minutes piece on it where the border, I mean, you don't get 8 million people here by making it difficult. But you see they're walking through and the border guys are just watching them do it. They're just watching them walk past. You never saw that?
I did not see that.
See, that doesn't get in the liberal media. That's the problem, is the bubbles we live in. You don't want to talk about that politics at all.
Well,
I shouldn't, because I really started this podcast to get away from it. So you're right. I kind of fucked up.
Yes.
But I don't know. Sometimes people say things that trigger me. And of course, we just had the election, and I feel like my conscience is very clear. I warned everybody about Trump, and then I warned them about what would get him reelected, which was stupid wokeness, which is what got him reelected. So I feel my conscience is very clear that I told you and I told you and I told you, and I lost fans for it. You know, lots of the super woke that like I'm not woke enough for them. Yeah, but like I think I had it right. Like that kind of stuff is what lost the election for the Democrats. It's in all.
Maybe part of it. I don't know. I think a lot.
They have polling on it.
I think it's inflation. I think Americans hate inflation.
That's certainly
they hate inflation. They hate riots, and they hate black women. They hate trans people.
Oh God, John, we're not
Dude, they just spent hundreds of millions of dollars
don't hate
demonizing trans people. And that's disgusting.
Yeah,
that
we shouldn't talk politics.
Okay, we shouldn't. We shouldn't. Great. We don't have to.
No. And this, you know, I mean, I have this kind of relationship with people on the right also who like, yeah, it's just going to take so long to even have this discussion. And I want, just like I would like to deprogram them, I feel like there's things that don't get in your bubble on the left that I would love to deprogram, but it's probably not the place to do it.
But
you know,
you can try if that's how you want to spend your leisure hours.
No, I mean,
deprogramming Ducky.
I don't know if you guys noticed it, but I cannot get past the mega booster chair he was sitting on.
He was
He was boosted so hard. Like he's sitting on more pillows than my daughter did when she was a toddler at the hairdressers. Did you guys see that? Like I couldn't get past it. Why was he sitting on so many booster seats?
Maybe he has back problems.
No. What a manlet that guy is. I cannot. We hate black women. Okay.
Right.
These people.
It's so dumb. But I love Bill Maher's exasperation with him. That was my favorite part. You know what I mean? Like, they have polling, you dimwit. This is how are you still not getting this?
He's not. They cannot. they cannot have any self-reflection whatsoever.
Mhm.
None. He lives in a teeny tiny little bubble. And
Yep.
all he wants to see is they're racist, they're sexist, they're misogynist, they're transphobes, they're this. He wants to put labels on all of us. Meanwhile, dude, like step off your booster chair and get a clue. Good Lord.
Also, you're about to see something highly disturbing, and a great example of when Bill talks about, how did he say it? Stupid woke. This is the result of stupid wokeness, stupid levels of wokeness. I don't know how old this boy is. I'm assuming 7 or 8-ish. I may just have lost my ability to gauge kids' ages, since I have like a young adult son now. But he's young, and he is like a skincare influencer. And it is so jarring and unnerving to watch a boy this young act this way in a video. Look.
Sephora, so here's a little haul for you guys. First thing I got was the Summer Fridays lip balm in shade Pink Sugar, I think. I was smelling it on the way back home. Guys, it smells so good. Guys, the lady was so nice there, and she gave me so many samples of the Laneige like water bank moisturizer and a bunch of hair oils. Last thing I got was the Bella Flor cream from Sol de Janeiro. This one smells so good. I have it in the spray, and I needed to get it in the lotion because it's really good. Bye, guys. Follow from
That little boy was wearing a Kendra Scott necklace too. I have a teenage girl. Okay. Like a little girl who's that age shouldn't be doing that.
Right. I would be jarred by that also.
Right. If it was a little girl, I wouldn't want that to happen. And so that's a boy. And I just like, none of that's okay. What?
Wasn't that just so gross?
Where are the parents?
God.
Like, where are they? It's just all.
Well, the parents are clearly part of the problem,
They're
right? Like, there's
encouraging it.
no way that kid doesn't have support of his parents to be on a phone, making those videos, getting the products, being driven to Sephora
and
like,
buying it. Buying all the things and encouraging it and promoting it and loving it and telling all of her friends, look how gay and awesome my son is and what a wonderful influencer he is. And look, why are parents doing that? I don't get it.
It's
and
vile.
he is like 8 years old.
Okay, I thought I had that right because he's young.
Probably 8 or 9, I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah, he looks like it. I mean, if he's older, he doesn't look older. So we could be wrong about the age, but he doesn't look much older than that.
Yeah,
So
it was
just
so disturbing.
Yeah, I don't know why parents have to do that.
I know. It's just vile.
Yeah,
which is why the next clip is like brain and eye bleach. This is a turning point clip that you may have seen. I don't know how old it is, but it's a fellow who's a black man being asked by a black woman when America was ever great for black people. And his answer is perfection.
Oh, where are you from?
Texas.
From America, right?
Yeah.
I just want to know, when was America great for us black people?
Right now. Tell you it's great right now.
Really?
Yeah. It ain't great for you?
No, not at all.
How?
I mean, I'm living life.
Looking good. You got clothes on. Look well fed.
But that doesn't mean
Got
it's great.
beautiful hair.
Oh, thank you.
Got your eyeliner on. You looking good. What kind of bag is that? That's a nice little bag there. You look good. America look good for you. If you were eating out of trash can, I'll tell you something different. America's a great place. I don't understand how we are not acknowledging that. It's great. Look at all these different people out here. Men, women, black, white. You will never see this much diversity anywhere else. It's the greatest place on earth. Everybody can be here and enjoy one another, disagree with each other. We have the freedom of speech, freedom to keep and bear arms. We don't have to worry about the government interfering in our lives for the most part. It's the greatest country ever. And if we don't start acknowledging that, we're going to screw up something good.
Yep.
God, I love him.
Yeah, that is Officer Tatum, isn't it?
It is Officer Tatum, I believe.
Okay, I didn't recognize him at first. Maybe it was just because like I'm used to seeing him in a certain setting.
In a studio.
Yeah. And so I just didn't recognize him. But yeah, that is who that was. It was so good.
Beautiful.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. What a great message.
Yep.
All right. It is time for some My Pillow Talks. I have some really, really good ones for you guys today. Really, really good one. We're going to start with dogs. It's a montage of dogs who are afraid of the vet.
Oh my gosh.
And you can tell. Here they are.
Oh. Oh. Oh no.
Oh my God.
I would not go near that dog. Oh. Always the little one. Oh my. The little ones are so screamy.
Oh wait, was there more? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. They're so screamy when they're little, aren't
But
they?
why is it all the Smash Mouth dogs get so screamy?
They get very screamy.
The Smash Face dogs,
Yeah,
man.
the smash face dogs. Yeah, they do.
This one was so just it just like breaks your heart, but also gives you the warm and fuzzies. It's a mama lab with a baby lab, and somebody is mad at the puppy, because the puppy ate some sort of device or ripped a cord or whatever. And so the puppy's in trouble and getting yelled at and actually being threatened with a shoe, which is not okay. But it's what the mama does that is so sweet. And there's no sound, so that's normal. See, that puppy destroyed some sort of a game or whatever, and he's getting yelled at. Look how sad.
Oh
Look
my
at the
God.
sad puppy, and the mama
That
feels so terrible.
I want to pick that puppy up and take it home and
And then look, he shows him the shoe, and the mama's like, "Oh no, you don't!
Don't you touch my baby! Don't you ever touch my baby!" That's every mom.
Isn't that the sweetest?
I will fight back. Touch my baby, my sweet. And the baby's like, "Mama, don't let him touch me."
I know. I just love
I
that.
cannot deal with how sweet that is. Every
So
mom.
precious. Oh my gosh. So, except for the mom of that kid selling Sephora.
That's right. Exactly. Every mom but her.
Also, here is a dog who just does some interesting things that the owner is highlighting just how weird their dog is. He threatens the furniture. I'm biting it. I'm biting the furniture.
Oh my God. What? Vertical potty?
He lifts his hind legs to
relaxes like this. I love this dog. I love this dog.
Isn't it the greatest dog?
Look at my husband and I have talked about getting a Doberman.
They're so funny.
They're really neat. I really like them. Because I don't know if we're going to get a Dane the next time. I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can do another Dane, you guys. They don't live long enough, and the slobber is too much for me.
Here's my feet.
I think we may actually get a Doberman. I may get a Doberman next time. I would like one that's broken like that.
Yeah, the broken kind are the best.
A broken Doberman. Mm-hmm. A Broberman. I would like one. Mm-hmm.
And then also there's like a squirrel nest cam that someone has set up for this particular squirrel. And what's amazing about squirrels is that when they're startled, you know how like when you get startled by something, you go like this?
Yes.
You go, right? Squirrels do it too, which I just think is the coolest thing ever. He's grabbing his chest.
He's grabbing his chest.
And then he's like, okay. Oh, God, there it is again.
The thunder startled him.
Isn't that the cutest?
God bless him.
I didn't know squirrels did that. I think that's amazing.
That's very sweet.
Also, you need to see how happy reindeer prance.
I love reindeer. Oh. That's why his name is Prancer. His name is Prancer. Fitting.
If it's not, that is a missed opportunity, man.
Yeah, obviously. That's
missed
Prancer.
opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And then lastly, from Useless Farms, who usually they have that mean Karen emu this is a different animal. This is a duck. And this duck needs some positive affirmation.
Okay.
And here is the owner explaining.
Just got a new hoodie and everybody's roasting him really hard for it. Can you just tell him he looks very handsome?
Oh my God. The jacket. He's like, seriously?
I love that.
Oh.
I freaking love it so much. Oh my God.
Mark wants to dress ducks up in coats.
Well, I didn't know that they had hoodies for ducks. If I had known, I would be dressing up.
Etsy makes everything, Mark. They make everything. Oh my God.
We have 2 thank yous before you get to the ones here. One from
Yes.
Venmo, and that is from Lori Mazamuro, who said, "Good morning, fellow Gen Xers. I've heard it said that this administration's actions are meant to punish those who voted for Trump, which is the majority of Americans. Also, disappointed in Ducky, but not surprised. He's protecting himself so he can get more acting jobs," which is probably true. And then yesterday from the Ball Pit crew over on Rumble, AP McKeon said, "Missed you ladies. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. So glad you're back to light up our days. My daughter and I celebrated birthdays. Jennifer's on New Year's Eve and I turned 74 on New Year's Day. So
That's
happy birthday.
awesome. Happy birthday
to both
Okay.
of you."
Are we ready? Let me go. All right, Kendall Wallen, please pray for my younger brother who passed away on December 26th, and pray for his son.
Gosh, that's
So sorry, Kendall.
horrible.
We will do that. I hope I can get this name right.
Evyatar Ashkenazi.
Thank you. Yes. Hey, chicks, I missed you so much. I guess Biden is showing his true face by releasing terrorists and shutting down hostage deals. Can't wait to see his dusty, cracked ass out of the White House.
Same.
Yes. Kendall, Biden is throwing an egomaniacal Trumper tantrum. Yes. Yes, he is. Stevie
Yep.
J, it's funny how Harris is all about upholding the Constitution, except when it comes to we the people. Amen to that. Can you say the name again?
Evyatar.
Yes. Kamala's face be like, well, damn, drop the Bible. We don't believe in that.
Exactly.
The Great Gatsby, Hurricane Helene, North Carolina, just finally released the list of people who died. 104. No
Wow.
news coverage, and FEMA is ignoring the victims. God, that is just despicable.
ridiculous.
Unforgivable. Raymond Cromley, thanks, ladies. I do not get these videos.
I don't know what that means. You don't get them aside from us, or you don't see them when you're watching? I don't know what that means.
I don't either. I don't know what that means. Joseph Groshik. Hey, I hate to bring you guys down because I love you guys, but my wife died Christmas Eve morning at 37 years old. And I'm trying to decide what to do with our forever home because it's a great investment, but memories, and I need your opinion. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh, Joseph.
You know what, Joseph? One of my best friends from childhood just lost her husband a couple months ago. And the advice I gave her about the home that they lived in is I said, just sit with it a little while. Don't make any rash decisions. Just sit with it a little bit. I mean, I'm so sorry that happened to you. And I'm not the best advice giver, but that is the advice I gave to her. So if you're asking for an opinion, that would be the opinion I would give you. If
don't do anything sudden.
Don't do anything sudden. Just immediately, just sit with it for a little while, and then
because it's so new.
Right.
I mean, it's been like a week,
right?
And
if you're a person that has faith, pray about it and just see what happens.
And people here will be praying for you.
Everybody will be praying for you, Joseph. I'm so sorry.
Gosh, that's horrible.
It's awful.
Horrible. Oh
Right.
my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
I should have saved like a talk for
I
after.
know.
So we have a happy thing, but
Well, you guys,
this is a good community for prayers. So you came to the right place.
The best, the absolute best. You guys bring it in. We're gonna give a big hug, hug for Joseph. Everybody gets a big hug. Okay, you guys, hugs. Everybody have the best Tuesday, and we will talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Hello, beautiful people. This is the Chicks on the Right's Indian correspondent. Thank you for watching or listening. Be very sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on all of their delicious content. Okay, thank you. Come again.